If only I could turn back time.
Hello everybody and welcome to my Slayer guide. So let's start with the skills. Uh, Combo attack should never use this unless you're PvPing. Knockdown strike, increase overhand strike damage, triple crit factor. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory. I'm not gonna get into too much detail. This is your dodge roll, pretty obvious stuff. Good for movement speed. I try to use this more for when there's certain mechanics where you need to kind of dodge in and out of safe zones. It really helps a lot. Backstab, great for repositioning, and you can also use it to iframe things, but mostly just repositioning. Triumph and Shout, you're not gonna use it too much, only like when downtime, certain mechanics where you can't really do DPS to the boss at the moment, so you're going to use buffs like this to just kind of restart your mana and start back at the beginning of your rotation. Overhand Strike, best glyph in your arsenal, really. Like, just the 60% chance to eliminate cooldown is just so broken. You want this glyph on at all times. Leaping Strike, you don't really use it for damage, but if you want to, you can use it to dodge things and kind of reposition in and out of giant AoEs and stuff like that. I don't really use it too much, but I know some people that do. You can use it if you want. If you can make space for it on your skill bar, go right ahead. It's a great movement tool. It's not really great, but you can do some cheeky things with it, like you can headlong rush it first to kind of speed the animation of it and get a little bit farther. But other than that, not really something you're going to use all the time. Retaliate. Obviously use it for when you're getting knocked down. Heart thrust, all the glyphs. You want all those. Stunning back in. You don't really use it too much when you're in dungeons, but good move for when you're hunting BAMs and Islands of Dawn. You want to try to stun lock them as much as possible. Distant Blade, more of a PvP skill. I don't really use it too much. Startling Kick, another great move for PvP and or hunting Island of Dawn BAMs. Keep them stun locks up. Fury Strike, not really good this patch unless you're slaying. Headlong Rush, great skill, but you don't use any glyphs. Use it to kind of position yourself around the battlefield. You need to get out of a giant AoE, dash away. You need to use it to speed up animation. You do it. Another little trick you can do, if you didn't know, see how slow that is. You can use it to speed up your resurrection if you're trying to res the healer or something. It's really good. A little trick if you didn't know. Extra 10% extra damage, so it'll be 43%. And doubles your crit factor for the next attack, which you're going to want to use before every heart thrust. So tenacity, good move to get your mana back. Like I said before, you're going to use it on downtime when you can't really do DPS. You have to stay in like a safe area for a mechanic, or you get one-shotted, stuff like that. You just kind of reset your mana a little bit. In Cold Blood, your most overpowered skill in your moveset, like, it's just so broken. But yeah, I'll get into that when I get into the rotations. Exhaustion Blow, another PvP skill you don't really use. Measured Slice, all the glyphs, eviscerate all the glyphs. I'm going to go into your gear rolls. You want decreased cooldown reduction, increased damage from behind, increased damage when in range, and increased damage percent. Etching, energetic etching for that attack speed and cooldown. Overhand strike damage percent. Decreased damage from frontal attacks and decreased damage from enraged monsters. That healing skill effect I got is not supposed to be there. I just haven't changed it yet. You're going to want decreased damage taken by 6%. Instead, that's what you want to go for, so don't get this healing thing. Gloves, it's like every DPS's rolls. Power, attack speed, crit. Etching, attack speed, cooldown. Boots, replenish mana every 5 seconds. Increase movement speed, increase endurance. Gather belt, crit factor, power. You're gonna want a crit innerwear. I don't really have a great one right now. It's just like kind of the starting one. You really want to get your Gila Glades done and try to get that legendary crit factor innerwear. Rings. First thing you probably notice is I don't have a full set on. I use the old 410 content rings to get that 2-piece crit for a little bit extra crit. And also you probably noticed they're all unique rings, so they don't have they're normally you could only have like one unique ring and one unique earring if you use the full set, but since I do this I can have all unique, and it kind of boosts your stats up a little bit more. A little bit extra crit, a little bit extra MP, a little bit extra HP, a little bit extra modifiers. Crystals, you're going to want all keen, which is crit factor by 6. And for your rolls on your rings, crit factor by 4, power by 4. As you can see, I don't have the best rolls. Rings, you want HP percent and endurance. Amulet, just get more power. That 4 power. Now your brooch is going to change depending on the healer you're running with at the time, so I keep both on. And you're going to want to, when you switch, you're going to want to re-shortcut it. But if you're running with a priest, which they give more power buffs and they don't really give a crit buff, so you're going to want this extra crit and attack speed. And if you're running with a mystic, they give an amazing crit buff, so it like doubles, increases your crit factor by 2.4 times or something like that. So you really don't need the extra crit. You can go in power and get more damage output. And you would want crit factor by 4 and power by 4, and then try to get crit factor by 6 on both of these. And that's the accessories. Now I'm going to go into crystals. This is basic. You want 8.1% defense from my monsters. That's I'm pretty sure that's what everybody uses. It's what you want. This, like I said, this changes with healers. So these 3 are like mandatory pretty much all the time. The only thing that really changes is the carving. So if I'm running with a mystic, I can get the crit buff. I don't use the carving, I'll use the pounding. And if I'm running with a priest, I don't get the crit buff, I run carving. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Let's get into rotation now. Slayers don't really have like a set rotation you do 100% all the time. It's more like a scale priority. So like if this move is up, you use this move. When that move's off cooldown, you use this other move. So you'd pump overpower always before heart thrust. Every single time you do about the heart thrust, overpower heart thrust. But for the most part, you're going to be doing this. As you see, so you're going to want to only use knockdown strike when your heart thrust and your whirlwind are both off cooldown. And you're going to use your headlong rush here to speed up the animation of your whirlwind so it doesn't come out slow. Another thing, so kind of really important, when you pop your in cold blood here, your rotation kind of changes. So if I were to pop all my buffs, as you can see, I'm kind of just spamming knockdown strike, but it's not going on cooldown. You want to kind of like cancel it into ultimate overhand strike before it activates, and now in cold blood is done, so now you would go back to your normal rotation. Another thing you probably notice is that I have eviscerate and overhand strike on my skill bar, and that's because I don't know if it's just a console thing, if it's a PC thing too, but say you go into a chain, like if I pop this, it wants me to chain tenacity. If I were to go into another move like heart thrust, which it should do, it won't it won't show up like what to press. Like nothing will happen. No skill chain will pop up. And I guess it's because you're still in another chain and it's canceling that one to. It's saying you're chaining overpowered into hard thrust, and that's a chain, so there's no chain link with that, so it's not like really showing up. So that's why I have it on my loadout, so I can kind of still continue to do it. So I highly recommend doing that. Get used to it. It's a thing right now. So see, if you notice here, then I manually press overhand strike with L1 square, and then eviscerate manually, and then you can kind of chain the rest off of L1 triangle. Another thing I quickly wanted to mention, as you can see, I have like 200 plus mana potions. Slayers are very mana hungry. If you're doing your DPS right, you'll quickly burn through your mana. I'm gonna do a quick thing here, and you can kind of see for yourself how quickly I run out. Pretty much out. So you're gonna want to be popping mana potions as much as you can to maintain your mana. I think that's pretty much everything. If you guys got any questions, just post down below, comment, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.